When I was growing up, I lived in a small house on the edge of a forest. It had been in the family for generations, but after what happened, we left. I wasn't exactly the happiest kid. I spent a lot of time by myself, stuck in my room. My room was big, too big for a kid my age, and the windows on two of its walls looked out into the trees. At night, the forest was dark and thick, and it always felt like something was out there watching. When I was around 10 years old, things started getting weird. It was small stuff at first, nothing too alarming. I had a nightlight that I always kept on, a red one. It helped me sleep. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night, which was unusual for me. I didn't think much of it, just rolled over and went back to sleep. But before I did, I noticed my nightlight was a different color. It was blue, not red. I figured maybe I had accidentally bumped it, but when I woke up the next morning, it was back to red. No big deal, right? But then it kept happening. The nightlight would change colors, sometimes to yellow, sometimes to green, and sometimes it wouldn't be on at all. I asked my parents if they were messing with it, but they denied it. They told me the nightlight was old and just glitchy. So I let it go. But then, one morning, I woke up and found the nightlight unplugged, sitting on the floor. My parents insisted they had nothing to do with it and told me I was imagining things. I was frustrated, but I tried to let it slide. A few days later, the nightlight went missing completely, vanished without a trace. My parents seemed genuinely confused, but I wasn't convinced. I knew they were hiding something from me. I confronted them, but they just shrugged it off, telling me I was too old for a nightlight anyway. I hated how they dismissed me like that. I felt like I was losing my mind. Things escalated after that. Every night for a week, I woke up suddenly in the middle of the night. I didn't know what was waking me up, but it felt wrong. The fourth night, I stayed awake, trying to figure it out. That's when I heard it. The soft, rustling sound, like something was moving around in my closet. I called out to my parents, but they just told me I was being dramatic. My dad even checked the closet and found nothing but old clothes and boxes. He reassured me it was all in my head, but I knew what I heard. The next few nights were even worse. The rustling came back, and this time I could swear something was moving inside my closet. I was terrified. My parents didn't believe me, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was in there. One night, my dad finally got angry and dragged me to the closet, demanding I prove I was hearing things. As he pulled the old toys and clothes from the shelves, he tore down a poster from the wall, and that's when we found it. A hole, a deep hole, hidden behind the poster. I still don't know how long it had been there, or what the hole led to. My dad grabbed a flashlight and shined it inside, but it was too deep to see where it went. He ran outside and started digging, and that's when he found it. A tunnel. A passageway from the woods leading right into my room. My heart stopped. I couldn't breathe. The thought that someone had been using that tunnel to come into my room night after night made my skin crawl. That night we left. My mom and I packed up and stayed at my aunt's house, while my dad tried to seal the hole. We never went back to that house. To this day, my parents won't talk about what happened, but I know they regret not believing me sooner. Every time I think back to that place, I can't help but wonder who or what had been slipping in through that tunnel. And I'll never know why they were there. But one thing I've learned: if your kids come to you with something strange, believe them. You never know what's hiding right under your nose.